Welcome to part 3 of the RLD Getting Started tutorials. In this video, we're going to be going over data visualizations. So creating graphs, creating tables, and even dashboards that are meant for other people in your business to be able to quickly and easily see what's going on with your IoT devices, as well as for your own benefit to understand what's going on with your IoT devices that you're monitoring. We got a lot of this data in part 1, so make sure to check out the other parts of this video. And as you can see, since that part 1, I've entered in more data for the purpose of showing you what RLD can do here. So let's start by going to Graphs on the sidebar and clicking Manage. This is where all of our graphs will show up as we add more graphs to our RLD project. For now, let's go and click Add a New Graph and click on the graph to go to the graph editor. Once we're there, it's going to ask us what type of graph we want to create. Let's create a simple line graph. And I want to show the change in temperature over time of my IoT device. To do that, I'm going to go to my input fields on the side, and I'm going to grab the time and put it in the x-axis. And I'm going to grab the temperature and put it in the y-axis. And here we go. We can immediately see that RLD is plotting the data for us. However, there are a few things I'd like to change. For one, the time is showing up as number of milliseconds right now, which isn't ideal, and you can see they're even overlapping each other. So let's fix that first. Let's go to our axis settings, and under axis type on the x-axis, we're going to change it to a date. And there we go. Just immediately off the bat, we no longer have things overlapping each other, and we now see the time in a more consumable format, 4:13 and 5 seconds, and you can see it's even keeping track and plotting down to the second what is going on with our IoT devices. The other thing I'd like to change is right here, 50 is the minimum value on this graph, but I think that's a bit misleading. I would like that number to be 0 so we can see the change over time in a more representative way. So I'm going to go to my y-axis min value over on the side here, and I'm going to click on custom minimum, and I'm going to make sure that that is set to 0. Now this graph is far more representative and easy to read. I'm going to go ahead and give this graph a name, call it temp over time. And now we're done. It's that easy to create a graph inside of RLD, and this is perfect because now we can get to creating our table. So let's go to the left over here and click on tables and click manage. As you can see, again, more tables will show up in this screen as we add tables to our project. For now, we're going to click to add a new table and click to go to the table editor. I'm going to open up the dataset fields and the calculated fields, and I'm going to create a table that shows us not only the normal data that's in our data set, but also the calculated data in our data set, including the one that we made in part 2, which tells us whether or not the temperature is too high inside of our IoT device. And this is really easy. You just start by taking these fields and dragging them in to this box. I'm going to do the time and the name first, put our pressure and our temperature in second, and then I'm going to finish it off by showing temp too high, which should return a 0 where the temperature is below 80 and a 1 where the temperature is above 80. Now we're going to put out a more comprehensive video on all the options that exist for these tables, but for now we're just going to go to the spacing on the right side, and we're going to add a little bit of horizontal spacing as well as some vertical spacing, and we're going to call it good. Awesome. Now we can go create a dashboard. And a dashboard inside of RLD includes multiple graphs, multiple tables, and includes the ability to easily set up data constraints. So that way we can send a link for that dashboard to someone else in our business, and they can quickly and easily work with the data to figure out what's going on inside of your IoT devices. All right, let's go to dashboards on the left. Let's click manage. And just like all the other screens, let's create a new dashboard. This one is made for a laptop, as we can see on the dashboard layouts over here. And we're going to make a video that is far more comprehensive on what can be done here later. But for now, let's go ahead and grab our graph that we just created, drag that in, and we're going to size it to take up about half of the bottom of the screen here. And then I'm also going to drag in a table, the one that we just created, to do about the same thing. Make it take up about half of the area down here So that way we have enough space to show all the data we need for our users or other employees or colleagues to understand. Finally, we're going to make it possible for them to constrain the data based on the name that came in. So for example, in this table we can see Jacob put in some data, but so did Eric. And I might want to give someone else the ability to quickly filter the data based on whether Jacob put it in, or Eric put it in, or both of them put it in. So I'm going to grab this user select under constraints and filters. I'm going to select the name as the field that we will be constraining. And then I'm going to size it appropriately so it's easy to use. Put it to the side here and click to connect it to this graph and to the table. Finally, I'm going to enter in some text that's going to just give a small example of what this is. You could call this overview stats. And finally, I want to preview this dashboard and find out where I can get a link so I can send this to other people once I've shared the project with them. We're going to click on dashboard on the right, and you'll notice I can click copy link to get the link, and I can even click preview dashboard to see a preview of the dashboard. So once I've done that, you're going to notice that it loads up all the elements and allows me to select a name. I would like to see the data for Jacob. And here we go. It shows our graph with all the data that was inputted with the name Jacob, and it shows all of the data inside the table as well. I can even go select Eric and deselect Jacob to see just the data that Eric got in. All right, in the next few videos, we're going to go over how to make the data inside of RLD available to other applications inside your business, and we're also going to cover how to create apps and forms with RLD.